I'm actually travelling at the moment, but what I'm going to talk about in this video is probably the most pathetic thing I've ever seen in a so-called security conference. And it's a damning indictment that Europe is run by a weak elite. I mean, what else can you conclude when you see its leaders are crying, literally crying? This is the chairman, or can't call him a man, the chairperson, let's say, of the Munich Security Conference. Christoph Heusgen speaking at what is supposed to be a serious security conference and breaking down in tears like a little child. And instead of questioning this display of total weakness, the room full of so-called leaders gives him a standing ovation followed by cuddles. Let's watch the video.
Vice President Vance on Friday, we have to fear that our common value base is not that common anymore. I'm very grateful to all those European politicians that spoke out and reaffirmed the values and principles that they are defending. No one did this better than President Zelensky. Let me conclude, and this becomes difficult.
This pathetic person didn't cry over the Islamist car ramming attack in Munich that happened the day before the conference. Didn't cry over the AK-47 shootings in Brussels or the stabbings in Austria just before the conference. He didn't cry because European citizens became victims of Islamic terrorism. He cried because JD Vance hurt his feelings. Compare this to the kind of leaders Europe used to produce: strong, decisive, resilient, people who understood the weight of responsibility. Today we have career bureaucrats who break down in public because an American vice president said something they don't like. And what did JD Vance say that was so devastating for him? He basically stated the obvious, that the US should prioritise its own interests and that Europe should take responsibility for itself. That was enough to reduce Heusgen to tears. That was enough to make an entire conference hall erupt into applause for weakness. This is a perfect proof of why Europe is in decline. The people running the show aren't warriors. They're not men. They're professional criers. They don't inspire strength. They demand sympathy. They aren't leaders. They're glorified administrators looking for comfort in the arms of their peers, more keen on sending virtual signals than getting results, getting things done. And this is exactly why Europe is so dependent on the United States, because when faced with real challenges, when faced with real threats and dangers, they don't stand firm. They fall apart. They cry, as you can see.
Difficult.
They look around waiting for someone else to fix their problems. Europe is facing real problems: security issues, economic stagnation, a total loss of cultural confidence. And yet, at the biggest annual security conference, this is what gets a standing ovation: a grown man's emotional breakdown in tears. Europe doesn't need more crybabies. It needs strong leaders. It needs men and women who don't fall apart at tough conversations. Men like Churchill, women like Margaret Thatcher. If you're as disgusted by this display as I am, make sure to share and comment, because we need to show them we don't approve of this nonsense.